Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking in there. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And wow, we had a pack premiere with amulets, the return of Shitwheel Island, fake blood, a dislocated shoulder, a lithium-related medevac, and a nerdy superfan getting his dreams crushed. But before I get into the episode of my thoughts, I have something hilarious to show you guys, which is that it has come to my attention that Zach, aka Jacob Derwin 2.0, has blocked me on Twitter. And obviously, this has thrown me into a deep state of just complete depression. And I'm just honestly, just contemplating like if I should live ever again. Psych, I totally forgot this guy even existed. Imagine imagine that you are the first boot of a season. What went wrong, bro? Like, just don't get voted out. It's not that hard. But yeah, obviously he was intimidated by my giant muscles, and honestly, I see where he's coming from, on there. So I'm not gonna really come after him here. Obviously, big muscles, scrawny guy. I can see why you'd probably want to block me there. So I'll leave him for later when I get to tribal when he makes terrible mistakes. So we open up with the Marooning, and this Marooning felt super genuine, with the players being very honest about how excited they were to be on TV playing Survivor. We get our first challenge, and we get the amulet stuff like right off the bat, which I really like, and honestly wish that the amulets replaced Beware advantages this season. My biggest problem with the Beware advantages was the fact that the worst case scenario is that they never get activated by the time the merge hits, and then you wasted a whole pre-merge on nothing, and there are no idols in the game. In best case scenario, which is what we saw in 41, they are activated and there is idols in the game, but everyone knows about the idols, and therefore you lose the ability for a Wentworth-like idol play, where everyone's just completely shocked by the play. Also, 1 to 3 people aren't voting the entire pre-merge, which takes away from the strategy in a gigantic way. Whereas there is no loss of votes with the amulets, and the payoff for the advantage can not only happen at any time, as there is no activation requirement to use it, but it can also be paid off 3 separate times, and also incentivizes cutthroat gameplay from all 3 players who have it. Simply put, this advantage adds to the season, and the Beware advantage takes away from a season. And I also think that the idea of 3 complete strangers rubbing dirt and blood on each other for an advantage is absolutely hilarious. Oh yeah, and Daniel dislocates his shoulder, so yeah, that happened. I mean, I like how when he was getting his shoulder popped back into place, he was making Survivor references to Stephanie, which really shows you like how much of a fan he really is. Ika wins the challenge, and with that gets Flint and other really important stuff that I don't really remember. We then get the Ika tribe's camp scene, where we see Rocksroy immediately being very bossy. I mean, he even gets the army music in the background while he's talking in a confessional. But the editors quickly contrasted that by showing that he's bossy because he's used to being a stay-at-home dad with his kids. And the show shows us like 10 different alliances on this tribe, but in the end, only like 3 of them mattered, with those being the power duo of Swati and Rocksroy, the Skinny Guys alliance with Zach and Romeo, and lastly Tori going off to look for food, which creates a situation in which Zach insinuates and gets others to verbally agree out loud that she's been gone too long, but then immediately goes to Tori and tells Tori that Drea was saying that she was gone too long. A very risky move that, as we will see, did definitely not pay off. Vati and Taku, who lost the challenge, are given the Savvy or Sweat option from last season, and they both elect to do the puzzle, which involves counting triangles in a very complicated image, and they both succeed and get their shit. Over on Vati, Lydia and Hai connect over being young as shit, Mike and Jenny connect over being old as shit, and Daniel and Chanel follow suit and pair up as well. Over on Taku, we don't get much strategy, although we do get Marion being very extra, and we also see Jackson tell his tribe members that he's transgender, and the story about his parents finally accepting him, which honestly was kind of bearable. I mean, it could have been a lot more woken and over the top, but it was honestly pretty, emotional and sad, I guess. But obviously he goes out soon with the whole drug thing, so it's not really that big of a deal in the end. In fact, yeah, he gets medevac for doing lithium. Apparently he was on lithium, and the withdrawal symptoms for lithium are so severe that they can't allow him to play the game. I'm just going to say it here so we don't have to cover it later on. The next day, we get a repeat of Shitwheel Island, where Jenny from Vati, Marianne from Taku, and Drea from Ika do the summit thing, and after getting a few sob stories out the way, we see Drea and Marianne risk their votes. We also see Jenny protect her vote, therefore giving both Drea and Marianne full-powered extra votes, but Marianne and Drea won't know if they have a vote or if they even won an extra vote until they go to tribal. At the immunity challenge, we see Zach and Swathi, but mostly Zach, blow the puzzle and lose, sending Ika to Tribal Council, which is the dark blue tribe. We then see a lot happen before Tribal, with Tori proclaiming to the whole tribe two things. One, that she doesn't have the idol, so now that should just be over with, you know, in her opinion, and that shouldn't be, you know, held against her, because it's just not the case, which is kind of funny, because like, how are they supposed to know that you're not lying? And then two, that she heard Drea spreading that rumor about her, that she was looking for the idol and out pouncing around for the idol. But when her and Tori, her being Drea and Tori, go off to talk, they end up smoothing things over pretty quickly and want to work together. Now, Zach was lucky that Drea didn't just like straight out tell Tori that Zach was the one spreading this rumor around, but the damage was already done, and the two people who Zach wanted to pin against each other were now working together. Now they agree to go after Lockshoy, but when Drea realizes that her vote's in jeopardy for this tribal, because she may have lost it at the Shitwheel Island, she decides to go with whatever the majority of the tribe is voting for this vote, which is looking like Zach, as both Lockshoy and Swathi, the power duo on this tribe, want Zach out. Tribal time. So Zach knows that his vote doesn't matter, because it's either everybody voting for him or everyone voting for his target, which is Tori. He tries to call out Tori, but it doesn't work, and we see Tori's therapist social mind Jedi tricks come out here, where she does a great job of just making him look like an absolute dick for you know, just like calling her out at tribal, and it makes it look like he's almost attacking her at tribal, even though it's just part of the game. Zach uses his shot in the dark, and it doesn't work. He becomes the first literal unanimous vote, if you don't count the Varner vote in Game Changers. It's kind of iffy, and that's it. I thought this episode was good and did a great job steering clear of the woke stuff. Like imagine if the three women of color showed up to the summit on 41 like they did in this episode, we would get a whole scene contradicting itself and being dumb. But instead, the editors are starting to realize what makes Survivor good again, and that's not being literally CNN 24/7. But what do you guys think? Epic fail, epic W, tell me in the comments. As I always say, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking into a weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's all, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Guys, I bring good tidings.
What is that? What is that?
Well, Ed, check it out.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god.
Vati! Go for it, go for it.
All right. Feel good about your paddling, confident in your collective might. For your life in this game, you'll be battling the first casualty leaves tonight. Bring your flint with you.
Wow, okay. Bring your flint with you.
Oh, wow.
Is there going to be fire starting as part of the challenge?
Okay.
We'll be paddling again.
And we're doing it all together because it's collective might.
Yeah.
So we get tree mail today, and it gives us, in classic Survivor fashion, vague hints about what challenge is about to happen. One of the things, though, that at the very end they said, make sure to bring your flint, which makes me think that it's going to end with a fire-making challenge rather than a puzzle, which is what I was really hoping for, because I want to be put on puzzles, because I'm scared about the degree to which I can contribute with the shoulder injury. And I'm frankly hiding from my tribe the degree to which I'm worried about that, because I don't want them to think that I'm a liability physically. But I feel good about it. It's just, you know, I'm neurotic. I'm gonna find anything to make me worry. If there was nothing to worry about, I don't know what I'd do. Let's win this thing.